morning, and welcome to the Inside Edge Network Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show brought to you by LPV Productions. Hey, I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. As always, I have my buddies Ryan Mosser and TK Dandridge with me. Ryan, TK, guys, how was your Christmas?
Dude, it was good. Kids, it just had a great Christmas, and that's all that matters. So
that's awesome, man.
Also with the newborn, so that's pretty cool too. So
yeah, that's fun. Man. Magical stuff you get to see for the first time with a newborn. That's fun. TK, you had a good Christmas, man?
Yes, indeed. Very peaceful. Got to watch the Cleveland Cavaliers embarrass the hell out of themselves on national TV yet again. Wonderful end to my day. Well, since it was an afternoon game, I guess you could say, somewhere in the middle. But yeah. Overall, decent day. A lot of sports. Good time with family and friends. Pretty decent day.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Yeah, I've been here too, man. We were a little sick. The whole family was a little under the weather, but hey, we made it through. You do the best you can, and you try to avoid getting anybody else sick or whatever. So we had some things that we didn't get to do over Christmas, but it was still fun. We had a great Christmas season. So I can't believe it's over. I can't believe we're headed into 2026. That's wild. But here we are. It's December 28th. It's almost New Year's Eve. It's almost time to watch the Buckeyes play. They'll take on Miami. That's a fun matchup, man. TK, I told you on illegal formation, if Miami beat Texas A&M, what did I say? I said their fans are going to be insufferable online until New Year's Eve, talking about pass interference or whatever, right? And here they are. They're online. They're insufferable. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I guess when you can't let go of things from a quarter of a century ago,
they'll get reminded again. Ohio State's going to dominate them. So
I think they're going to win that game. Miami didn't have an offense. I know it was windy that day. I get it in College Station. It was a weird day, but Miami I didn't see anything overpowering other than maybe the defensive line. I guess I'm a little concerned with. I guess I'm concerned with the pass rush from Miami. But I don't know. It's an afterthought if you can't score points. So we'll see what happens.
Right guard will be an issue. We'll figure out what they're going to do there, obviously. But I trust them. Our offensive line has been, night and day better from last year and the year before, especially with recruiting coming up. There's some guys that are going to be in this program for a few years that are going to make some money in the league. So,
yeah. And this is the time of year where someone always takes a big step forward, right? You get like a few weeks off without having to go play Northwestern or Illinois or do every week. Weeks to let Matt Patricia work on the defense. I trust him completely to cook something up for Miami. I have no concerns at all about the defense. The only real concern I have, like I said, is the offensive line. I think Julian State is going to be ready to go. Obviously Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate should be completely healthy from whatever was bothering them. I seem to have been suffering from the load injury. I don't know. I'm not really sure. You never know. But we'll see. We'll see. Miami and Ohio State. That's at 7:30, right, on New Year's Eve?
I think so, yeah.
Quite lead us into the ball dropping the way the Georgia game did with some of the new clock rules and changes and things like that. But hey,
Miami's going to drop the ball. Don't worry.
Miami will drop the ball. I think Carson Beck for about 2 or 3 interceptions in that game, and I think that's going to be the big difference. But yeah, I think Ohio State wins that game. I don't want to say easily, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a struggle.
I'd say easily.
Sorry, Canes fans. It is what it is. Oh, man, we had a good show for you today. We have to talk about the Browns. So other than having to talk about the Browns for most of the show, we have a pretty good show for you guys today. We're going to get away from the weekly Shedeur Sanders progress report because I don't really know how to assess him anymore because the Browns don't have any semblance of any offensive line. They have no receivers. I don't really know how to truly assess a quarterback. I've said it before on the show. I think Sanders has shown tons of flashes, a lot of promise. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a top 5 or a top 10 quarterback anytime soon. But I think he's been good enough and serviceable enough to start building something around him. Rather than trying to go out and get a quarterback in the first round again. Not that Jacksonville helped us out with any thoughts of having 2 top 5 picks or anything fun like that. I don't even want to do mock drafts, right? I've been seeing you put together mock drafts online or whatever, just to text them. I don't even feel like going and doing a mock draft because I'm like, what am I going to do with the 25th pick? I don't care about that.
Right.
That's whatever.
One thing I learned about mock drafts is no matter what you do, people are just going to be pissed off and hate what you do. So it's pretty fun. Forget about variety. There's a couple months here between April and now. So, why not just post the same thing every time? But, hey, some want a quarterback, some don't want a quarterback. And regardless, they're going to let you know about it. So,
hey, I'm going to try to see if I can go viral for picking all safeties. I just want to select all safeties with every single pick that the Browns have in the mock draft. Here's my pick.
Just wait when I take Arville Reese in the first round. So
yeah, hey, why not? Bookends for Myles Garrett. Oh, what do we got today? Well, I mean, first of all, I'm slacking because I have not welcomed you to the show. Welcome to the Inside Edge Network. Like I said, and I said it, but I didn't show it. So here you go. Now you're officially welcome. You know who we are. I already said that. I'm Chad. That's Ryan. That's TK. You know us. So what do we got this week? We've got, is there any reason to watch? Let's check the playoff picture. Nope. Still eliminated. Nothing going on there. That's the Browns can't get into the playoffs. We're 0% there no matter what happens. So I guess we have Myles Garrett Sack Watch 2025, where Myles Garrett will be in pursuit of history and an elderly man in the pocket for the Steelers. He's going to be chasing around Aaron Rodgers, who actually proved a little bit tough to get to the last time these two teams played, right? Like Garrett couldn't get to him, didn't even hit him. And that's a product of Rodgers just obviously being a 316-year NFL veteran and getting the ball out quickly and understanding the challenge before him. But I mean, I think, there's going to be more of that today. Obviously, the Steelers I think they're going to rely on the run game. We'll talk about that in a little bit. They've kind of figured out the run game a little bit lately, and the Browns' run defense has taken a little bit of a step back. So we will get into that. But here's Myles Garrett on the cusp of history. And I mean, I don't know. They're 3-12. He's got to do it in game 16, right? 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 For it to matter? Ryan, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it would be a great story, obviously, if Myles broke the single sack record against, their bitter rivals in the Steelers, especially knowing that TJ Watt, Myles Garrett's perceived career nemesis, owns the record with Michael Strahan with 22.5 sacks, we all know. He only needs half a sack to tie, one sack to, beat the record himself. The goal for Cleveland is obvious. They're going to go all out on defense to get Myles that sack. I think that would be an incredible story. Myles Garrett broke it against the Steelers. The Browns' oldest rival, and it's the personal career rival, as I said. And he'd be doing it against Aaron Rodgers, who he actually has never sacked before in his career. That's actually an interesting fact. Like last week, he struggled to get to him. He's never gotten to him. And this is their third and most likely last matchup as well. Myles himself in interviews this week said, it would be, quote, special to break the record on Rodgers, calling it a legendary record, and Rodgers as a legendary quarterback. I'm sure he's chopping at the bit at this to add that quarterback to his headstone Halloween graveyard. I mean, the Browns aren't hiding it. Everyone wants this record for Myles Garrett. The team wants it. The defense wants it. The fans want it. Myles has made it no secret that he's aiming to break that record this week during his interviews this week. I mean, the city knows what that moment means. I'm sure that the Steelers will do everything in their power to prevent the record from happening against them. They're going to run the ball a lot, especially with DK Metcalf out due to his suspension. The Browns will have to find a way to game that record today. Also, another stat that I wanted to highlight real quick. He's also chasing the record outside of the single sack record. He believes that he has a realistic shot at breaking Bruce Smith's all-time sack record within the next 5 years. Okay. Smith finished his 19-year career sack with oh my God, I can't talk today, guys. Sorry, my newborn is killing me, guys. 200. He has 200 sacks in 19 years. Myles has 124 and a half. Okay. Myles said it, quote, at this pace now, I can get it like in 5 years. 5 years is the right time. I think I'll go and hang the cleats up. So I do think about if I can do it. And I think only I'm getting better. I think the numbers will only continue to look similar to how they are right now. So I'll be knocking on the door pretty soon. So he's obviously thinking that, he's, 19, 20, 22 sacks a year is now the standard for himself, at least for the remainder of his career. Okay. But as of for today, I think he gets the record. I think he's playing at a historic level. He dominates against the Steelers, specifically in Cleveland. The Steelers' offensive line has struggled to pass protection this season. And the most important thing, Myles Garrett wants this record really, really, really bad. He breaks the record today against the Browns' rivals. It's definitely his destiny. So fair
enough. Well, listen, we know he's in a hurry to get to the game. Raul says Myles and Shador spotted doing 140 down East 9th. Listen, that's a tough. That's a 25-mile-an-hour street. That's a tough one. I could understand if they were on the freeway. Listen, Raul, give us some information, man. He's our guy on the ground. Are they racing? Are they riding together? What's the situation there? We got to know more about that.
Like Jed Wells on Hollywood Higgins back in Cracker Park. Remember that?
Yeah, right. Why? There's been a bunch of weird Brown stuff. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think he's got to get the record today. I think he does. But it's not gonna be easy. Like you said, the Steelers are going to be doing all kinds of things to plan for the opposite of that. to happen. And you mentioned one of those things is having DK Metcalf out, and the Steelers kind of come in. And TK, I'll get your feel on the sack record in just a minute. But I just wanted to play on what you said for a second, Ryan. I mean, the Steelers coming in, they're without TJ Watt. They're without DK Metcalf. And TK, I want to go to you specifically on this because I want to talk about the DK Metcalf situation. I don't understand how we live in a world where someone, okay, can walk down, and I get it. You pay for your ticket. You can say whatever you want. Okay, fine. There are consequences for that. People are always, they're asked to leave stadiums. They're banned from sporting events, whatever. Yes, there is freedom of speech. You can physically say anything out of your mouth that you want to say, but there also are consequences, right? I mean, you're not absolved from any consequences for that. My situation is, and my whole perspective on this, I don't understand how someone like that. I think it's very bad precedent to give someone like that a press conference to where now they have a platform. So now the precedent has been set. All you have to do is harass an individual who is a professional athlete who's let's be honest, it's entertainment. I get it, right? But it's also their job. This is their livelihood, okay? So you go into someone's job, you harass them while they're on the work floor, right? To the point where they react to you. And now you suddenly have a platform on social media from which to speak. I think it sets a bad precedent. I think this is a really bad idea. People are going to start doing this, right? So they can have their own little 15 minutes of fame, their own little press conferences to talk about how they just innocently, I just used his government name, whatever, I didn't say anything wrong. TK, man, TK, DK, you see the correlation here. Just tell me, I mean, am I crazy or is this a really, really bad precedent to set?
First and foremost, I do not blame DK for doing what it was that he did at all. This fan was definitely on the line. I do believe that a lot of people have gotten very comfortable with running their mouth freely without receiving any consequences at all. People do not think before they speak, and this fan has been reported of harassing him in the past. So, again, but at the same time, DK needs to understand, hey, listen, fans do what fans do, which is run their mouth aimless as hell. Granted, they mean well most of the time. You do have those fans that like to stick out and like to show exactly how trash of a human being they can at the most inopportune time, I would say. But, that's the nature of the game. This is an extremely emotional game for both players and fans. So, I do understand it to an extent. Again, back to DK. I don't blame him for, taking action to the situation, but at the same time, it's like, listen, you just lost $45 million worth of guarantees. Sometimes, you just got to let a fan be a fan, and you need to, be an athlete, be a professional. I do understand that these fans do cross the line at times. You have to understand that you are in a higher precedent that they are. They came to see you. What they think or feel or whatever the hell it may be does not matter. You are the main attraction. Yeah. By you doing all this crashing out, especially in opposing stadiums like that, in broad view where they know it's you. It's like, son, you're 6'5", you're 240, you're okay. Like there is no missing you. There is no missing you. So, when I think of this, it's like, yeah, he's not wrong for defending himself and all, but at the same time, you got to think about the money, dog. Yeah. He did not think about the money at all. Now, he very well can make all that money if he does play all 4 years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But at the same time, it's like, losing out on a guaranteed $45 million, and he has not had an above-average season this year. He does not have 60 catches yet. He only has 6 scores. My apologies. George Pickens has thoroughly outplayed him as the WR1B in Dallas. So that's looking like a horrible move so far. But again, it's, you have to think about certain situations like, hey, look, is it really worth me crashing out and losing all of these guarantees? Because, of course, there was a behavior clause in the 4-year contract that he signed with Pittsburgh. So, yeah, to go ahead and mess that up over, some fool that you dealt with before, it's just like, listen, Sometimes we gotta just shake that off and just worry about the task at hand. We can't get sidetracked.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I see both sides of it. Ryan, I mean, how do you feel? I think it's a really bad precedent to let a fan hold their own press. I mean, I get it. People can do whatever they want. The media is the media. They're going to flock to whatever, is going to get clicks and attention. I get that. But Ryan, I mean, don't you feel like do you get to go to an NFL game or any professional sport, whatever, doesn't matter, any professional sporting contest and be a troll and then get a platform from which to speak? I mean, isn't that kind of a bad precedent to set, Ryan? I don't know how. I mean, are you on my page with this or no?
This is a touchy subject, man, to be honest. I mean, because the allegations are racist remarks, and that's where the base of this, yes, they've had altercations before, and apparently he, told the NFL about that and, reported that, but nonetheless, it happened again. If alleged remarks were said, I guess I could justify seeing him, take action. Mm-hmm. I personally want, words don't bother me too much. I'm not going to put my hands on somebody for words, especially if they're about me. I could care less. Right. Nonetheless, that's the issue that happened. In terms of the press conference, I mean, he's only doing the press conference to clear his name from those specific allegations. Mm-hmm. I wasn't there. I don't know what was said. Right. So, I mean, if a major athlete is alleging that you said something that you didn't, I could see that it could be necessary for someone to at least try to clear their name. I'm not saying necessarily that that's the appropriate way to do it, but that's the way they did it. I think heckling is part of the game. I mean, I'm sure you don't think Jerry Jeudy goes out there every single day and hears 50, 100 fans yelling at him that he's a bum and he sucks. I say he sucks right now. Jerry Jeudy sucks. Like fans are going to be fans. That doesn't mean, you should go put your hands on them. And that's a big mistake. $45 million, like you said. Regardless, I mean, he's a big man. He can handle his things as he wants to, but also there'll be repercussions for both sides. I'm not saying either of them are right. I wasn't there, but I mean, it's a touchy subject for sure.
It is. And like I said, I see a little bit of both sides. I mean, I see that obviously, as a fan, you're allowed to heckle. You can say whatever you want within, sure. I think certain there are parameters.
There's security, though, is what I'm saying. If he's out of hand, he's belligerent, doing something stupid, there are people who are, whose job it is. Your job is to go play football, and you might have just missed out on nearly $50 million because of an action you did. So
yeah. I mean, you probably have to handle it a little bit better if you're DK Metcalf. I get that. I do see how it could be extremely annoying and upsetting to hear it. Whatever it is, it's a touchy subject. I mean, I think there are ways that you can heckle. I've been to plenty of baseball, football, whatever games, and I've heard people, heckling athletes, and I've heard it to where it's been funny for an entire game, and then I've heard it to where it's like, okay, you're immediately crossing the line. Like,
right.
Don't make it personal. Keep it on the field, whatever, right? Like, it's just have some fun with it. I don't know. I just think it's just knowing the line and knowing when you're crossing that line as a fan. I just think it's just a bad look. Whatever. Let's talk about what the slide actually says, because the Steelers come in, the injury report's not good, right? TJ Watt's out with the lung issue from the knee. That's a weird situation. Obviously, hope he's going to be okay. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really heard much of an update. I just know he's out today. Jalen Ramsey is possibly there. The Steelers secondary is all beat up. Jalen Ramsey's ill, right? He's got some kind of an illness. If he's got what went through my family over Christmas, I can see why he's feeling pretty bad. It's probably tough to breathe or move around or run or do anything really with it. I can definitely understand why he's feeling bad, but I don't know. I mean, what are the Steelers going to do? Like, DK Metcalf's out because of the suspension. They're injured. They're sick. They just are. They're not coming in at full strength. And here's the thing: they've struggled in Cleveland, right? They've lost 3 in a row here, which sounds bizarre to say that some team has not been able to beat the Browns for 3 times in a row in any situation. It just feels weird. But yeah, the Steelers have particularly struggled. Just over like I said, the last 3 trips here have been rough. You asked Mike Tomlin about it, and he gave a pretty succinct answer. He said it's because of Myles Garrett, right? So that's why we're on Sack Watch today. We're watching Myles Garrett to see him get the record, and he's clearly a disruptor. Ryan, I mean, do you think I don't know. It's just hard to we talked about before. We don't even know if the Browns are really trying to win. I get it. The players are going to go out on the field and play hard. There's no question about that. I don't think anybody can look at one particular player, unless it's Jerry Jeudy, and say, "Hey, I don't think that guy's trying to win," because I don't understand what's going on with Jeudy. But whatever, maybe he's just having a really bad year. I have no idea what's going on with him personally. It just seems
just
odd.
a guy.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. First of all, are the Browns even trying to win this game? Does it matter that the Steelers are suspended, sick, injured, whatever? Does that play into this game today? I mean, it's also cold and rainy outside. It's just a really bad weather day. It just feels like one of those days where, honestly, the Browns could pick up a W because of every situation going on. But I don't know. Does that even matter today, Ryan?
I mean, first off, with the injuries, it's late this season. I mean, there's injuries on both sides. There's a lot of them. I mean, Harry Fanny Jr. is injured. David Njoku, Quinshon Judkins just got hurt. Dylan Sampson. That's pretty much all of our running backs and tight ends. Wyatt Teller. Both teams are pretty beat up. I mean, like you said, the most important injury designation for sure is TJ Watt. And unfortunately for the Steelers, like you said, he's rolled out as he deals with that unfortunate lung injury that we hope he heals from swiftly and and he's well, I guess. With him out, the entire defense structure changes for the Steelers. They go from a pressure-first defense to basically survival mode defense, and that's a dangerous place to be when you're facing a Browns team with nothing to lose, a home crowd that wants blood, and Myles Garrett chasing that single-season sack record. What are the Steelers going to do? Even though Mike Tomlin has already admitted that you really can't replace T.J. Watt schematically, they're going to have to figure out how to do that. Guys like rookie. Jack Sawyer, Buckeye, Alex Highsmith, guys like that are going to have to continue to step in his shoes. Right now with Watt banged up and the Steelers defense stretched in, I think the Browns will be, play pretty well against the 28th ranked overall defense in the NFL for the Steelers. Despite how poorly it's gone the last few seasons for the Browns, the Steelers have struggled, like you said. Although the Browns' record versus Steelers since Stefanski took over is 5-7. But you're right. When they play in Cleveland, they're actually 4-1. In fact, probably the most memorable game that I've ever been to was November 19th of the 2023 game. That's the game where DTR led the Browns to the win against the Steelers, 13-10. No one's going to believe me, but me and my buddy David, my co-host of the Commissioner's Couch podcast, we started the DTR chants, and then eventually the entire stadium uproared in DTR, and it's really awesome in unison. We also were second row directly in the middle of the field goal, right behind the field goal when the game won for the kick. So we were right there. So that's a story I'll tell my kids one day. That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, as I said earlier, I'm certain that this game will be an absolutely electric game. But there's the Steelers have to win this game to make the playoffs. And obviously the Browns are playing, to try to get Myles that win, but also, to want to spoil their fun for sure. I don't know. I think there are things that the both teams will be playing for, regardless of how many injuries they have and other things.
Yeah, it makes me think I was thinking it's rivalry week, right? In the NFL, I kind of wish they did that. I wish that was the thing. I wish that was a set thing where a couple of weeks during the season, you literally it was rivalry week. That'd be fun. If nothing else for TV purposes, because otherwise this game's kind of unwatchable. I mean, it's I don't know how many people are going to actually beat the stadium or whatever. But TK, I mean, how do you feel? I think Ryan summed it up. I mean, it's the end of the season. Everybody's got injuries. Everybody's got things. But it's also now it's that time of year where people, when it's in these colder environments, people are sick, right? So you've got that going on. Obviously it plays in, but I mean, how do you think it plays in? I advantage Browns, advantage Steelers. I mean, obviously Steelers have some of their best players out on defense, but TK, I mean, how you feel about it?
Well, it really should be an even advantage. Pittsburgh really isn't that far from us. They're only a couple hours away. But in a way, I would definitely say advantage to Cleveland. The majority of Pittsburgh starters will be out today. You already touched on DK Metcalf and TJ Watt. You also have to think, hey, listen, Steelers are usually weird around this time of the year. Usually when they have, if the division's on the line, or if they're fighting to get a playoff spot, it's usually a lot of wishy-washy going around. And a team like us to come around, this is definitely a trap game, regardless of how many of their guys are out. So the thing that I think about most in this game is the reserves that we have coming in for our injured guys. Obviously, Tevin Jenkins is going to be playing quite a bit today. I do believe Wyatt Teller will be on the active roster. I'm not really sure yet. Don't know if they're going to do the rotation thing again like they did against the Titans. I wasn't a fan of that at all, but neither here nor there. Raheem Sanders and Travion Williams, how are they going to play today? They were pretty nice in spot duty last week against Buffalo. 42 yards for Raheem Sanders, 17 yards on the ground for Trey Williams, and he had another 38 through the air. So, I mean, look, I'm looking for these guys to surprise that Pittsburgh defense a little bit. Put them off balance here or there. This very well could be a game that goes in our favor.
Okay. Well, I think if there's any position that you're banged up at, it's probably the easiest to just plug in a guy at running back and let him go. Not easy, but it's better than being banged up at quarterback and trying to find a quarterback in week 17 or 18 or whatever. I think it's probably easier to put guys, but yeah, I mean, are the Browns going to be able to run the ball at all? I think that's going to be a huge question that, it's kind of a tough day for Shedeur Sanders. And just, we'll go to the break in a moment. And we're going to get to that, but coming up in the 12 o'clock hour, we'll get Double A's take on that as well. About how today is kind of an unfair test for Shedeur Sanders, but like always in life, you still have to pass. Doesn't matter. Circumstances don't matter. Nobody cares about the excuses or the, whatever the surrounding circumstances are, who's heckling you, who's out, who's injured, who's this, who's that. You have to pass these tests, right, to keep moving on. The NFL is a very what have you done for me lately league. We know that. So Sanders is going to have to continue to be good no matter what. And I think that, when you talked about the rotation at guard, whatever, things we didn't like, things that we possibly saw against the Titans that made you question whether or not they were even trying to win organizationally. I think it's time to talk about this week's Kevin Stefanski WTF moment, right? Like what? But wait, quickly. We have exclusive video again because a lot of people, I think a lot of people think Kevin Stefanski is trying to get fired. I think it looks like that a lot, right? As you hear these press conferences, it sounds like he doesn't care. You look at him on the sidelines, everyone says he doesn't show emotion, which is unfair because they show him for 39 seconds during a 3-hour game, and we say he doesn't show emotion. That's not fair. I mean, we don't know what he looks like the whole game. We don't have a camera on him, just that's trained on him. We saw last week the video of poor Kevin Stefanski sitting at his office inside, just in his own head, really, thinking about all the mean things that people have said to him since he's been the Browns head coach. So I actually, guys, I actually got to talk to him this week. Okay, I asked him the question: are you trying to get fired? Is this a job that you even want? I think you might be surprised by his answer. Let's go to the video.
I don't want to be laid off. This is a good job for me because I need my nights free.
Well, there you go. I mean, now we know why the Browns aren't good enough to get primetime games, right? Because Kevin needs his nights free. He's got to have his nights. This is a good job. This is a good gig for him. I thought the Pilot Flying J poster in the background on the wall was crazy work, but whatever. It doesn't matter. But there it is. That's straight from his mouth. He doesn't want to get fired. So, guys, regardless of what we think it looks like, Kevin Stefanski does not want to get fired. He wants this job. It's a good gig for him, right? It's a good spot for him to be in. He's got plenty of nights free. We know that. Sunday nights, Thursday nights, Monday nights. They're all free. So, I don't know. I mean, is this a game? Do you coach differently in a rivalry game when you're, 3-57 or whatever the Browns are this season? Does it matter? Are you trying to win? Do you want to embarrass your rival, the Steelers, because they're coming in injured and suspended, everybody's sick, whatever? Or do you still try to find new and creative ways to lose? I mean, overall, what do we expect to see? I mean, from play calling, I'll start with you, TK.
Well, I thought the play calling was pretty good against Buffalo last week. They kind of overused the end around a little bit, but I did like the incorporation of it. It did work just about every time we did it. Mm-hmm. So I expect to see much more of the same. Maybe they'll pick different spots and where to take those plays at, but you'll definitely see a lot more wide receiver runs, I think. I expect them to go basically all out. Just go all out. This is the last home game of the season. You're 3-12. I'm really not sure what you guys want to do in the draft, but I really wouldn't be too thrilled to have the number 1 or 2 pick, to be honest. It's just because I really don't think that much of this year's quarterback class. I do like Mendoza, I do like Moore, but at the same time, I just don't want them to keep trying to patch this Band-Aid over and over and over again just because it needs to be patched up. I just think you need to figure out what exactly you have in these guys, because you're not going to know in 7 or 8 games. Both of these young guys still have a chance. I know people like to make Dylan Gabriel distant memory. The kid's still 24 years old. He's got a chance to compete still. He still has a chance to compete, as is Shador, and as is the freak man that we still have, that we owe $80 million to next year. So, there's no reason in paying even more dead money than we already owe. Just work with what you have, see what you have in those guys, continue to build this team up, and then we'll see what the hell happens from there. 2026 is yet another trial year. We don't know if it's going to be good or bad. It very well could be good. We could be kicking shit again. It's not set in stone yet, but we're going to see. Again, I definitely think they're going to go all out. Tommy Reese is probably going to unleash something that we haven't seen yet. And I think Kevin Stefanski has every right to let him. I mean, it's a rivalry game. Second to last game of the season. You guys are 3-12. Go ahead. Nothing's stopping you.
Yeah, you literally have nothing to lose coming in. I mean, Ryan, how do you feel? Is this a game where are we surprised by maybe some of the play calling? Are they a little more aggressive, or do we just go, okay, that's Kevin? I mean, that's what we've been doing all year. I mean, what are we doing here? How do you feel coming in?
I don't think it matters at all. I'm so tired of talking about this irrelevant head coach for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, he's not going to be around much longer anyway. I mean, there's zero justifiable reason to keep him or Andrew Berry around. But Ryan, Andrew Berry had a great draft last year. I don't care. 4 good picks do not make up for the last 5.5 years of malpractice of your job. Both those guys need to go, and I expect them to be. I'm sure Kevin will have he'll punt the ball on the 29-yard line, or have a play card mishap, or call a boneheaded play on a 2-point conversion. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Kevin is about to be home alone again as Christmas break ends and his kids go back to school. I've been saying it for nearly three years now, but fire this bum. I'm tired of talking about him.
I get it. He is what the French like to call les incompetents. We know that.
Les incompetents.
Hey, his own thoughts. I didn't say it. Those are his own thoughts. We saw the video last week. Don't believe me? I got it. I'll play it again. No, I won't. Listen, I don't know. I mean, the Browns have been puzzling. We don't really know why they're not good. I mean, the offensive line's bad, and the quarterback's a question. But regardless, they're better than a 3-12 team on paper, right? But they just can't seem to put it together. And there's got to be a reason. There's a disconnect. Listen, the great draft, fine. Taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, I think, is almost a fireable offense on its own. And then taking Shador in the 5th round. Okay, you got good value. I mean, Shador is what he is, and you got him in the 5th round. You picked him up. There's no problem there. But why? I just don't understand. I don't know.
Not only that, but he took 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs, and he saw the state of this offensive line and said, "Oh, we don't need to add any more pieces." If he would have added at least one more offensive lineman in this last draft, and he would have, been at least decent, we would have been in a lot better place than we are now. But next year is going to be awful. That's malpractice. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, we're in a better place because we're about to take a break. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. When we come back, guys, you know what time it is. Grab the snacks. I don't know who's getting the gas this week, but take the car to the gas station, get the gas, because we're going to jump in the Inside Edge Network convertible. Even though it's cold and rainy, doesn't matter. We're jumping in the convertible top down, and we're going to take a road trip around the NFL. We're going to do it. That's when we come back. And like I said, we'll also get we'll get Double A Steak in the 12 o'clock hour when we come back. Give us 2 quick minutes on the Inside Edge Network. We'll be right back. Hang in there with us. We appreciate you watching. And we'll be right back here on the Inside Edge Network. Hey, look at that photo finish. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. We are back on the Inside Edge Network. We are here. You know you're watching the Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show brought to you by LPV Productions. I ran out of breath. I'm having trouble breathing. I went downstairs, and that is a really long way to go when you've been sick. So, I'm out of breath. We're all good. You know what time it is. Like I said, gas up the vehicle, grab the snacks, grab the drinks, whatever it is. It's a short trip around the NFL this week because we had a bunch of Christmas games and things have already happened this week, but that's okay. We're going to take our weekly road trip. We don't go once a year. We go once a week. We know that, around the NFL. So hang on, guys. We're taking off. All right, here we go. Where do we want to start this week? We got a lot of games that just really, unfortunately, don't matter this week. Mute you guys so we can hear your beautiful voices. Oh, you chose to mute yourself. I see how you are. Okay, well, first of all, let's start with the Christmas Day matchups, which I really honestly didn't get to watch really much of it all. I saw the Cowboys beat the Commanders 30-23. Dak Prescott over 300 yards passing in that one. That is what it is. The Lions lost to the Vikings 23-10. And are the Lions officially eliminated? Is that what I'm looking at? Where are they?
I think so.
Yes, they are eliminated. So the great start for the Lions amounted to nothing. They're eliminated now. Oh, Denver took down Kansas City 20-13. Kansas City's eliminated. They're moving out of Arrowhead in a few years. All kinds of crazy stuff going on with that franchise. So they'll probably win a Super Bowl next year. They can go 15-2. You know how that works. Some franchises seem to be able to overcome things like that, right? They seem to be able to come back from issues and struggles, and the Browns just continue to go 3-14. So that's fun. That's fun to watch from the inside here. Then we had some Saturday football on the 27th. The Texans took down the Chargers 20-16. That was probably a pretty good game. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch that one either. We had a whole host of stuff going on yesterday. And then Baltimore and Green Bay, the Ravens took out the Packers 41-24. Wow. It's just that game seems wild. Again, I unfortunately I didn't get to watch any of these games at all over the past couple of days, just from different things going on. But well, where are we going to start today? I guess we're going to start with Cardinals Bengals. A couple of teams that aren't really going anywhere, at least this season. I don't know. Bengals are a 7-point favorite at home. Where do you want to start? TK, you want to start with Cardinals Bengals?
All right. Let's see. Cardinals Bengals was one of the tough games that I was talking to you guys about earlier.
Yep.
I immediately see draft implications with this game. You think Arizona right now has the 6th pick. Cincinnati right now has the 9th. I'm going to go ahead and take Cincinnati in this one, simply because they're at home. I do think the offense with Joe Burrow leading it is still basically Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco. It's still very explosive, and I don't think the Arizona Cardinals have the defense to combat that. But I would not be surprised if this was a close game.
Okay. All right. Ryan, Cardinals Bengals. Bengals are a 7-point favorite at home again. What do you think?
Yeah, I really don't care about this game too much. I do like the Cardinals as of lately. I've been talking about Jacoby Brissett like he's my brother. I love this dude. He's a 17th overall quarterback right now, but he's been a top 5 since he's a quarterback since he came in starting week 5. Last week he looked not that great, but I look for him to have a bounce back game this year, especially against a really, really bad Bengals defense. I think the biggest outcome here is the biggest factor is going to be Trey McBride. Trey McBride for the Cardinals. He's the top tight end in the league, going against the Bengals, who have the 29th worst pass defense, but also the absolute worst defense against the tight end in the NFL by like 600 yards. It's insane. If Trey McBride starts eating early, I think that the Cardinals will get this. I think it'll be close. Joe Burrow looked really, really good last year, 4 touchdowns. And obviously Chase Brown looks really good. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is a good offense. Their offensive line's garbage and their defense is garbage. I'm going to take the Cardinals here just for fun. I think Trey McBride and Jacoby Brissett are in for a good day.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm going to go with the Bengals at home. I agree with TK. I think they're going to win because they're at home. I don't know. I still see. Brissett's been playing really well. I think, it gives the Cardinals something to think about. With that, top 10 pick, whatever, you don't really have to go in looking for a quarterback. I think you've got a guy right there on your roster that you might feel comfortable building a little bit around. or at least could be a stopgap if he doesn't come back next year and quite play at the same level. We'll see. I don't know. Brissett's played really well. I mean, every time he's been asked to do something in the NFL, he's done it fairly well. So, again, maybe not what you want to say is a traditional top 5 quarterback, but the numbers will show you, like you said, Ryan, he's been a top 5 quarterback since he was playing there. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go with the Bengals at home in that one. Let's go Saints. This is a weird matchup, too. Not that much fun, I guess, unless you're a Saints or a Titans fan, which, whatever. New Orleans is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Ryan, do you have any feeling? I can't imagine you're too excited about this game either, but do you have any feeling on this one?
I mean, not really a fun game in terms of the matchup, but there are individual players I really like. Chris Olave is having a career year. He's looked really, really good. Tyler Shuck has looked really, comparable as a rookie or a quarterback. A lot to grow from, but I do like his dual threat ability. The Titans absolutely suck. They have one of the worst offenses, one of the worst defenses. Cam Ward, for what he's got, he doesn't have even a wide receiver 4, let alone a wide receiver 1. I mean, Alec Ailminer as a rookie wide receiver 1 is a hard task to do for him and for Ward as well. I think the Titans are looking for next year. So give me the Saints here. I mean, they still have a good offense. Juwan Johnson's top 10 tight end. Like I said, Chris Olave. The running game is concerning. Alvin Kamara's out. Devin Neal's out. So it'll be Audrey Estime who will probably start, and he is not very good. But nonetheless, I will take the Saints here. So
fair enough. TK, you have a feeling on this one?
Yeah, yet another game with serious draft implications. You think right now Tennessee is at number 4. New Orleans is at 8. New Orleans has been playing a lot of inspired football lately. I do believe they're on a 3 or 4 game win streak. The Titans, I think, are feeling pretty good after knocking off the Chiefs at home. Give me the Titans in another home win for Tennessee to get them to 4-12. Another team that I think has their quarterback that isn't really trying to dapper into that quarterback market, so they can afford to go a few picks down from 1 or 2, or they can possibly hover inside the top 5 and pick another weapon for Cam Ward, possibly Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Tennessee Titans in this one.
Okay. Yeah, the Saints are on a 3-game winning streak coming in. They've won 3 in a row, so they've vaulted that record all the way up to 5-10 with that winning streak. So wow, good football. I think, man, this is a tough one to call. I think I'll go with the Saints. I mean, they've just been hot, and Tennessee's really bad, like you said, Ryan. I mean, the offense is bad, the defense is bad. Kim Ward's looked okay with what he's had around him, but I mean, it's not fair to really even try to assess him or judge him based on anything he's done this year because it's a tough situation. But yeah, give me the Saints today on that one. And the game that I thought was going to be like huge as far in terms of like playoff implications and seeding and everything else. The Jacksonville Jaguars, our old friends, will go to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Colts are now eliminated. Unfortunately, Phillip Rivers was a fun story for a couple of weeks, but couldn't quite get it done for the Colts. They're out. Jacksonville is, I almost said Jacksonburg. That's fun. Jacksonville's a 4.5-point favorite in this one on the road. I don't really see the Colts putting up much fight. I mean, it just sort of feels like they're flat. They're done. They're out of it. Ryan, Jaguars Colts. How do you feel about this one? This should have been such a fun game, man.
It is going to be a fun game still. I love the Colts. I don't care. I mean, unfortunately, when Daniel Jones went out, their realistic chances of making the playoffs also went out the window. Yeah, it's a great story, like you said, with Phillip Rivers, but nonetheless, he got in the NFL just so he could renew his insurance with his 10 kids. I'm wholeheartedly believe that. The Colts have a great offense still. I mean, Jonathan Taylor was one of the top running backs in the league. Michael Pittman's had a secretly good year. Then Tyler Warren is also a top 10 tight end. The Colts are going to run the ball a lot, but that's bad news for them because the Jaguars have the absolute best rushing defense in the NFL right now, only allowing an average of 87.3 rushing yards per game and 11 touchdowns this year. The Jaguars look good, man. They're 11-4. They're going to make the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, who I thought has been a bust basically his entire career, is basically a top 5. He's number 6 overall quarterback right now. Travis Etienne again having a revitalizing career. year, kind of like Josh Jacobs did last year. The addition to Jacoby Myers has been absolutely electric. Parker Washington, who's probably the best wide receiver 4 in the NFL. Last week, 6 catches, 145 yards and a touchdown. That's behind Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, and even Travis Hunter when he comes back. The dude's still putting up numbers. And then Brenton Strange still looks really, really good as well. I'm going to take the Jaguars here. It sucks. I never take the Jaguars, so I want them to lose, but also I can't be an idiot. So Jaguars are going to win, and they're going to steamroll right into the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah, Ryan, you can be an idiot. I do it every day. I do it. I wear it on my sleeve. It's fine. TK, what do you think, man? Jaguars, Colts.
Yeah, give me the Jaguars in this one. This game's going to be fun. I do think it's still going to be entertaining. Indianapolis is still going to come out with a lot of fire. Got to remember they are at home, so they're going to want to put on a show for those fans, especially after the horrible ending for Monday night, as well as that started.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I definitely think the Jags go ahead and get their 12th win of the year. Go ahead and win a division so you guys can get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars win this one. Before we move on, real quick, just want to I got a Steelers fan in the comments. All right. It says, don't worry. NFL's going to rig it for us to win it today. Because Garrett's got to get the sack record, right? They want Pittsburgh, Baltimore for week 18. You got to have money and ratings, I guess. That's from a Steelers fan. So thanks, Jay Shrek, too. We appreciate you watching. Listen, Steelers
fans, the NFL's not going to have to rig anything. Let's be honest. Myles Garrett's going to get this sack record regardless. But
400 sacks today, most likely.
Yep.
But listen, I appreciate the Steelers fan tuning in. We appreciate you being with us.
Definitely.
Definitely appreciate you being here. And we've talked about it before, man. We want TJ Watt to be healthy. We don't have to go well toward anybody. We want him to be healthy. So we appreciate you watching, Jay Shrek, too. Appreciate the comment as well. Yeah, I mean, give me the Jaguars, I guess, over the Colts. I just feel like the Colts are just fly. I know they still have a great offense, but like I said, Jacksonville's been so good against the run. Colts don't really have much of an ability to throw it around right now. So, I mean, Philip Rivers, like I said, fun story, not necessarily fun as far as production goes. So, Jaguars this one. All right, Tampa Bay at Miami. So, Buccaneers, Dolphins. Tampa Bay's a 5.5 point favorite on the road at Miami. It's another 1 o'clock kickoff. A lot of 1 o'clock kickoffs this week. I don't know. I don't know where we were last. TK, was it you? It's gonna be you. It's you. Regardless, it's you. Tell me what you think.
Go ahead and give me Tampa Bay in this one. This last part of the season has been an absolute mess for Tampa Bay. Yeah. You see the tempering down of Baker Mayfield from the hot MVP start that he had to the season. It's actually kind of sad to see, but they still have some life left in them yet. The division isn't wrapped up yet. You got to remember the Seahawks go to Carolina today, and Carolina currently has a division lead, but it's not, cemented yet. So if they do win today in Miami, which I think they will, that definitely helps that out a significant bit. So give me the Buccaneers in Miami.
Yeah, they're on the bubble. I mean, they still have a chance. If they win, their chances go significantly. Well, not significantly up, but they go up. Ryan, what do you think, man?
Going off of that too. Next week the Buccaneers and the Panthers play each other again. So talk about the division there. It could, turn out to be a last week of the season type. Winner takes all, goes to the playoffs there. So Buccaneers versus Dolphins. Yeah, TK's mentioned it's sad what happened to Baker Mayfield. He's still the 12th overall quarterback, so he's not awful, but like I said, he just had the MVP run for the first few weeks and looked really, really good. This offense has really taken a step back. Obviously because of the injuries, you can't have your starting running back, several starting receivers out, and hope to be that great. But they are the 23rd overall offense and 23rd overall defense against those Dolphins who really don't have anything to play for anymore. Quinn Ewers went out there and absolutely looked awful. 20 of 30, 260 yards and 2 interceptions. They have Devin Achane, who's the 5th overall running back, and that's like the light of their team, and he's just going to keep going. I'm going to take, I guess, the Buccaneers here because I think they have the overall better team, but I don't think they're in a great place right now, regardless. So.
No, you got to wonder how much the non-throwing shoulder injury again to Baker Mayfield is affecting him on the field. And like you said, all the injuries, you can't lose your entire offense and expect to really keep your quarterback that hot.
Right.
But that being said, I will take the Buccaneers over the Dolphins today. I thought the Dolphins love to play. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I can see this going either way, honestly. But I'll take the Buccaneers. They have a little more to play for. Okay. Well, how about Patriots Jets? New England's a 13.5-point favorite. I don't think anyone expects the Jets to do much in the way of competing in this one. But you never know. It's the end of the season. I mean, crazy things have happened, I guess. Ryan, any thoughts on Patriots Jets?
This Patriots team looks so good, so good. They're primed to. It sucks because like where they have the goat and of quarterbacks, and then they take 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years off, and all of a sudden they have another dude who looks like he could be the next goat. It's stupid. They have the fifth ranked total offense, 7th ranked defense. They're ready to go for the playoffs, man. Drake May looks like that MVP candidate. Trey Van Henderson is cleared after that worrisome hit with or concussion debacle. Hopefully he continues to be okay, and he's cleared. He's going to play, so hopefully he just produces well. I think he will. Mac Hollins is now in IR, so Stephon Diggs is going to be pretty much the only guy there. Him and Demario Douglas, and then Hunter Henry is still okay against a Jets team who they told you who they were when they sold everybody during the trade deadline. Their offense is really, really bad. Brady Cook's getting the start today. Breece Hall, they are criminally underutilizing him and just wasting his talent in New York. Garrett Wilson's out on IR, and A.D. Mitchell and John Mechie are the guys who are going to be the wide receiver 1 and 2. This Jets team sucks. I don't expect them to do anything. Patriots are going to destroy him today.
Yeah, they've lost 3 in a row, and they've been pretty much blown out for 3 games in a row. TK, Patriots, Jets, how you feeling?
This game's kind of weird to me because I'm just thinking the Jets really hate the Patriots. And at the same time, I think the Patriots are like, you know what? Let's let these idiots win so that they'll screw up their draft position and do something dumb and not get the quarterback that they want or need. But then the other side of me is saying, hey, AFC East is also not completely locked up yet. Let's go ahead and just win this game and get it over with. Yep. Give me the Patriots, but it's going to be a lot closer than what people think it's going to be.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll take the Patriots. I don't know that it's going to be super close. I mean, you just never know. Like I said, this time of year is weird. But I feel like the Patriots are going to seal up that division. I think give me the Patriots today. Okay, Seattle, Carolina. Seahawks, Panthers. The Seahawks are a 6.5-point favorite on the road. A lot of road favorites this week. So, TK, give me your thoughts on Seahawks and the Carolina Fighting TKs.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Panthers in this one. Again, they're at home. They play very well at home. I do like the Seattle Seahawks a lot, but they definitely got away with a close one against Los Angeles Rams when I last seen them play. A lot of things that I'm worried about when it comes to Seattle. The strength of that offensive line is a big one. They played pretty well through the majority of the season. Definitely the best that I've seen them play in quite some time. But, the longevity of that offensive line, the cohesiveness of it, is that going to carry over into the playoffs? I'm not really sure. They're also kind of banged up on defense a little bit. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers in a close one here.
Okay. Ryan, what do you got, man?
Yeah, this one is a fun one for me this week, I think. I mean, the Panthers, they are still in the hunt. They're trying to make the playoffs. Like I said, it could come down to, next week against the Buccaneers for the division and the NFC South to see who takes it, depending on how it shakes out. I think they have a lot of fight, and, I've been very vocal about Ted McMillan and how I think he's just absolutely amazing, and it's the future of that team. And maybe the future in that position of the NFL. I think he'll be top 5 here pretty soon. Against, the Seahawks, who already have a top 5 receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is incredible. The Seahawks team, 12-3, I think they already clinched. Pretty sure they clinched. So they really aren't playing that much, for that much right now. They have the 7th overall offense, 8th overall defense. They look really good, man. Kenneth Walker dominated last week. I'm going to take the Panthers here as well against my better judgment. I think I'm very logically, I think the Seahawks are going to win, but I think the Panthers are fighting here. They want to make the playoffs. They have a decent team. Bryce Young is trying to prove that he can be the guy and is the future in that position for that team. After a year and a half of struggling and then playing well and just not being consistent, now he's playing well. I want to see that continue. So give me the Panthers here.
Okay. Listen, the Seahawks have won 5 in a row. They've won 9 of the last 10 coming in. That being said, give me the Panthers. I think the Panthers have a little bit more to play for. Like you said, I think the Panthers win this game at home today, despite being almost a touchdown underdog. Oh, okay. Giants at the Raiders. Games that no one cares about. Part 3. Giants Raiders. The Giants are a 3-point favorite on the road against the Raiders. The Raiders have been awful. They're bad. The Giants have just obviously really banged up. It's not fair what happened to the Giants. You feel bad. Whatever happens, it's the NFL. That being said, Ryan, Giants Raiders, what do you got?
This is my favorite matchup of the week.
Yeah.
My favorite, not because the teams are good, because the teams suck. Right now, the Giants are projected to have the first overall pick, and the Raiders are projected to have the second overall pick. The Giants are 2-13. The Raiders are 2-13. This is the toilet bowl game. Whoever loses this game is going to get the first overall pick. I don't think it matters too much for the Giants. Obviously, they have Jackson Dart, and when you're in a position to have your potential franchise future quarterback and you're in high in the draft, you have a lot more to work with. The Raiders, I think, absolutely need to lose this game. They need to go find their quarterback. They're in a position to get first overall and go get Mendoza or Moore or whoever they decide, but they need a quarterback. Geno Smith is not the answer. Kenny Pickett's not the answer. Aiden O'Connell's not the answer. I think the Giants are prime here to draft Arvell Reese or Caleb Downs, and they're ready to go next year, man. Regardless, I think this is gonna be fun because I'm a huge draft nerd, and I'm excited to see who gets the first overall pick. That being said, give me the Giants to win. They have their quarterback, and Tyron Tracy looks good, and Wan'Dale Robinson looks good. Theo Johnson's out, so we'll see if Greg Dulwich, the backup tight end, who I actually really liked a few years ago. He was a promising. It reminded me of T.J. Hawkinson a bit, a promising tight end. Got an unfortunate injury, and then Denver never utilized him last year. Let's see if he can get out there this week and do something. So, give me the Giants.
Yeah, it's fun to see the number one overall pick. It's going to be fun to see the rumored package that the Jets throw together to go try to get that next year. I think that'll be fun, or this year, whatever. Well, next year, it's 2026. TK, what do you think, man? Giants Raiders.
Another game with extremely high draft implications. Give me the Raiders at home against the Giants to screw up their draft position and end up with the number 2 overall pick.
Man. And, if Al Davis was still alive, he would probably take a 5th round graded, defensive back from the MAC because he ran like a 4.21 at the combine. With the first overall pick. But yeah, I don't know, man. Give me the Giants on this one. I think the Giants win this one. I even the Raiders can't screw up losing, right? Whatever. Give me the Giants. We'll see. All right, Eagles, Bills. So Philadelphia at Buffalo is a 4:25 kickoff. It's on Fox. The Buffalo Bills are a 2.5-point favorite at home. There are some things to play for in this one, I guess. Ticket seating, whatever. TK, what do you think? Eagles, Bills.
Give me Buffalo in this one. I do think the Philadelphia Eagles are trying their best to get back to last year's scoring. It's not going to be easy to do that, but they have been getting back on track somewhat lately. But I do think the Bills are the better team. I definitely think Josh Allen has a hell of a game today.
Okay.
Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, the Eagles have been pushing some tush, trying to get back to. Okay. Eagles, Bills. Ryan, we're going to move on.
Sorry, I'm thinking about pushing some tush now. Sorry. Eagles, Bills. Give me the Bills here. Not much to talk about here. The Bills team is much better. They have the 3rd ranked overall offense, 11th overall defense, the top rushing offense in the NFL. James Cook, I think, is going to cook against the Eagles defense. Their rushing defense is 21st in the NFL. They allow an average of 123.5 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns this season. James Cook is going to be the main factor here. Yeah, Saquon Barkley is going to get his. I understand they have names: Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. The Eagles, I've said it all year. Yeah, they're 10-5, but they have underperformed all season. 22nd overall offense, 12th overall defense. This team is not that good, and yet they continue to be good. This Bills team is actually very good, and I think they continue that this week. Bills are going to win.
Yeah, I think the Bills win as well. The Eagles remind me of the Chiefs last year, where like every week you watch the Chiefs, and they're like, how'd they end up 15-2? Like, what in the world? They should be 9-8, right? The Chiefs should have been eliminated from the playoffs last year, and they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Really bizarre. But give me the Bills at home in this one. I think they pulled out. And like I said, the Eagles just aren't very good. They've just been extremely lucky. They've been playing better lately. But it's just weird season for Philadelphia. The Sunday night game on NBC and Peacock will be the Bears and the 49ers. The 49ers are going to be a 3.5-point favorite at home. The Bears have been doing some things this year, Ryan. What do you think in this one? Bears Niners.
Yeah, this one should be a fun one for sure. I mean, like you said, the Bears have absolutely turned this team around. The addition of Ben Johnson as their head coach. I mean, they fortified the offensive line for Caleb Williams. They added, additions in the receiving game with, Colson Loveland and Luther Burden, and just, still have Roman Dunze and DJ Moore. This team is stacked. DeAndre Swift looks like he's revitalized his career after he was questioned if he was going to, survive another Ben Johnson offense. But he has. And, against the 49ers team who, again, their team has been riddled with injuries. I mean, the only person who hasn't been injured this year pretty much is CMC, which is surprising. Everyone else has pretty much been injured the whole season. Their quarterbacks, all their receivers, their tight end, some of their offensive line, a lot of the defenders. But yet they're still 11-4, ninth best offense. The offense looks so good. Their passing offense looks really good. CMC is the best option in football, period. He is one of the best runners. He's one of the best catchers. He has more receiving yards than like 90% of receivers in the NFL right now. This is going to be a fun game. I'm teetering. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to lean Bears just for fun. I think, they're more hot lately. They clinched the playoffs. They clinched the division. I think give me the Bears. Why not? It's tough. It's tough, though.
It is. It's a tough matchup. I think this is one that could go either way. I think I'm going to take the Bears despite being the underdog and on the road. They've just been playing well. I think the Niners are 11-4. They have the weakest schedule in the NFL coming in. We knew that. So we knew. Well, we didn't know, but we thought you could reasonably presume that their win total was going to jump up this year. So that it's shown they're 11-4. I don't necessarily think they're a true 11-4 team. Give me the Bears. Listen, you mentioned CMC not being injured. I disagree on one front. I think his pride got injured a little bit this week. I don't know if you guys saw the college essay it's gone viral from Christian McCaffrey on Area 51 nuclear testing. I'm not going to make you read it on the show or anything, but please Google that. That's a fun read. All kinds of grammatical and just whatever. That's a fun read. If you like to read things that are
– You don't go school to play school. You go to school to play football, okay?
Cardell Jones said it best, right? He knows. Then he went back and got his degree, so whatever. But, yeah, give me the Bears in this one. I think the Bears pull this one off. Monday night game. We got the Rams at the Atlanta Falcons. The Rams are a 7.5-point favorite on the road. You can still score tickets as low as $59 for that one if you want to go. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll start with you. Wait, CK, did I get your – Bears Niners? Did I talk to you about that?
No, you didn't. Sorry about that. Bears are going to win this one.
I did it again.
I definitely think the Bears are very legit this year. The wins against Philadelphia and Green Bay definitely did it for me. I definitely think this team is on to big things this year. We could see a very deep playoff run from the Chicago Bears, but we're going to take small steps here. They're going to get this win in San Francisco, though. I think they're going to get this win tonight.
Okay. All right. Now do me a favor. Now tell me about Rams Falcons. TK. Going right back. Oh yeah. You better be ready, man.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's not your fault. That's my bad.
I'm going to take the Rams in this one. NFC West is not yet completely wrapped up. You still got to go through the Seahawks. You have to see what the 49ers are going to do tonight. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams on Monday night. Falcons are another team. Granted, they traded their first-round pick to the Rams. So, draft really doesn't mean much for them. But their season's pretty much over. I'm going to take the Rams on this one.
Fair enough. Brian, I remembered to go to you this time. Let's go Rams-Falcons, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Rams are going to destroy the Falcons here. The Rams offense is absolutely fantastic. Matthew Stafford, another MVP candidate. He's Kyron Williams, a top 10 running back. Puka Nacua is also an MVP candidate, the top receiver in the NFL right now. Devontae Adams is doubtful. He'll probably won't play, but he's a top 10 receiver. Then they have Colby Parkinson, who scored 6 touchdowns in his last 8 games. And an average defense, 15th overall, against the Falcons, who should be a lot better. Kirk Cousins isn't really that good, and unfortunately for them, Michael Penix is out, and he looked decent. But Bijan Robinson's going to get his. Drake London, if he's healthy, I think is a top 5 receiver. He is healthy, but he hasn't really done too much this year. And then Kyle Pitts has been just dominating the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 weeks. Just looks like the Kyle Pitts that people have been expected expecting since, his rookie season. That being said, I'm going to take the Rams here. The Rams offense looks really, really good. I think they continue. I don't think they really have too much to play for, but, I think they're just going to overpower them here. So,
yeah. Give me the Rams. I can't wait for the offseason Kirk Cousins trade rumors because someone's going to see him at a Waffle House on the west side or something, which obviously means he's buying a home here. So I can't wait for those. That's going to happen. Please write it down, mark it down now. It will happen. But give me the Rams in this one on Monday night. And listen, guys, that was it. That's the road trip around the NFL. I told you it'd be short this week. So there we go. Another look at us as we pile into the car. I was getting ready to pile out of the car now. And we're just going to take a quick 2-minute break. When we come back, we're going to get Double A's take on. We talked about the Shedeur Sanders. Maybe it's an unfair week to really assess and try to judge and test him, but he's going to get tested. He's going to have to pass. We'll see how he plays against the Steelers. Even with the Steelers defense that's a little bit banged up, I still feel like it might be a little unfair to judge him. But we'll get Double A's take on that when we come back from a quick 2-minute break right here on the Inside Edge Network. Bear with me as I try to find my life. Well, we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show, brought to you by LPV Productions, as always. Real quick before we move on, before we talk about whether or not this Browns-Steelers matchup is even really a rivalry anymore, and we'll talk about, some other things before we get into our keys to victory and get our score prediction going. I do want to get Double A's take on this, on the Shedeur Sanders situation, because a lot of eyes are going to be on him today, regardless of, what situation the Browns are in. I think you always look at the starting quarterback, right? You always that's where the buck stops. That's where all the credit goes if you win. That's where all you blame him if you lose. No matter what happens, defense can give up 59 points. It's always going to be the quarterback's fault. So let's just get Double A's take on Shedeur and kind of the situation he's looking at today and moving forward. It's not just today, but just moving forward, basically, as the Browns starter in a year where, again, another lost season. Let's get Double A's take on this.
Good Sunday morning, everybody. I think if you surveyed the average Cleveland sports fan right now, at this very moment, I think more people will be upset about the Cavaliers than the Browns. Not because the Browns are doing well, obviously they're not, but the Cavaliers are supposed to be championship ready, made, and they look like punks out there. But that's another video, another time. We have a lot of time to talk about how Dan Gilbert should blow things up. Anywho, unalive. This is 2025, unalive. Today's a big day. Today is a huge day for, honestly, how you view the future of the Cleveland Browns. On the national scale, you know the story. Pittsburgh, if they win this game, they win the AFC North, blah, 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 blah. But this is a Cleveland view. And Shedeur Sanders, I said a month ago when he first started, that Shedeur Sanders had to take the job away and basically prove that the Browns don't need to look at quarterback in the upcoming draft. While Shedeur has had moments of brilliance, and somebody can look and say, you know what, we could do something with Shedeur Sanders, it hasn't been consistent enough. And you have heard people, Jason Lloyd, Browns beat reporter, Cleveland sports reporter, talk about him holding on to the football, Shedeur Sanders holding on to the football too much. Could that be a hot take? Could that be all receivers are not good enough? Offensive line definitely is not good enough. And now you have a backfield that's hurt. Yes, sure. Obviously, that take is probably not fair, but it's a real evaluation. Shedeur Sanders has to do what other guys in the past have done, including like Jameis Winston. He has to beat the Steelers. It has to happen. Yes, it's not fair. Yes, you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Yes, Pittsburgh, if they win and they play all their starters, they're going to win the division if they win. But life ain't fair. Life is definitely not fair. If you want to prove to the Browns that, hey, for the draft and for free agency, don't touch quarterback, address other needs, you, Shedeur Sanders, must do everything possible to show out and win this game. Now, you guys have a great day. I'm going to go back and watch Stranger Things. I shouldn't do that. It's Sunday. It's Browns Steelers. I should be excited.
I'd rather watch Stranger Things, to be honest. I've seen Stranger Things on the field on Sunday, and I really have wanted to. I'd rather watch Stranger Things. By the way, real quick, do you guys watch Stranger Things? No spoilers. Don't say anything.
Nope.
Okay, we're all caught up on what there is to be caught up now. I'm looking forward to New Year's Eve or whenever that finale comes out. It's been a fun ride on that series, man. It's been a really fun one. Anyway, yeah, speaking of Stranger Things, Shedeur Sanders and the Browns and this whole saga of Dylan Gabriel versus Shedeur versus go out and get someone in the first round next year versus looking free agency to someone who isn't going to want to sign here under any circumstances. You could completely revamp the offensive line, and I think most quarterbacks' answers would be no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. I think this is Shedeur's day to go out and prove, especially against a little bit of a banged up, sick, roughed up Steelers defense. I mean, this doesn't have to win the game, okay? Maybe he doesn't have to win. It certainly helps, but I think he's got to play well. I mean, really well, right? You can't have – we all see Jerry Jeudy dropping passes that hit him in the chest. Okay?
Got to win the game.
Yeah. Okay. You say, TK, you think he's got to win? Okay. All right. Tell me more. If he goes out and goes 31 of 35 for 480 yards and 6 touchdowns, but they somehow lose 59-42, that's not enough.
Well, if he goes crazy like that, they might end up taking that man's draws and putting him in the Hall of Fame. So, I just don't, if he goes crazy like that, then, I don't know, but it would help him a ton if he wins this game. I definitely think, especially if you take down Big Brother during a point in Big Brother's desperate attempt for success amidst, all the turmoil that's going on within your own organization. If you take them down at this point in time and you put together a hallmark performance, listen, they're going to go back to that as much as they possibly can. And it's like it has some merit to it because this is a team that is in dire straits that is fighting for a playoff spot. Granted, they have an easy path to win the division. If we knock them off of that, and Shador has a wonderful game, that makes a beautiful case for him for 2026.
Okay. Ryan, does he have to win, or is playing well enough today? I mean, like playing really well.
I don't know if he has to win. I don't know if I want him to win, and that sucks. I'm in a position
where we are. It's weird. Yeah,
I'm in a position, where losing benefits my team more than winning does, for sure. I mean, losing helps us with the draft. Losing, puts another red X on Kevin Stefanski's report card. Losing switches things up a bit. I of course want him to go out there. I would love for him to prove everyone wrong and him to be the guy. Like that's what as a 5th round pick, that would be ideal. Obviously, he's going to have to go out there and show, what he's got, regardless of what is going against him, regardless of if 1-2 hands are tied around his back, regardless if Harold Finn Jr. is out today because he's sick. I don't know if he's been reported playing or not. Nonetheless, he's going to have to try to find a way to do it. Selfishly, I want him to look great and us to lose, but sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too. So,
which is really disappointing because cake is good. I had pie for breakfast this morning. Listen, it's Christmas break. Why do we always end up talking about food on this show? Okay, let's get back to it. Listen, with that in mind, it's me, right? TK's pointing the finger. Right, is this really a rivalry? I mean, is that, TK? You mentioned Big Brother, the Steelers being Big Brother. I mean, I know the Browns have some recent success here at home against Pittsburgh. But if you look over the last 20 games, I think the Browns are like 5-14-1 in the last 20 matchups. That's 10 seasons. Can you really but the Browns have also beaten them when it counts, right? In the playoffs. So Ryan, you tell me, is this a rivalry anymore? Are we what are we doing here?
I mean, honestly, it's a fair question to ask. I mean, as you alluded to, Pittsburgh has dominated the series for decades now. Cleveland has had long stretches of irrelevance, and and then the modern NFL rivalries shift, sometimes really fast. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, yes, the Browns and Steelers are absolutely still rivals in 2025, no doubt about it. And it's not that nostalgic, quote, remember the old days kind of way. It's, this rivalry is alive, it's active, and it's still one of the most emotionally charged matchups in the NFL. First off, the history still matters. When you talk about Browns Steelers, you're talking about the oldest rivalry in the AFC dating back to 1950. They played nearly 150 times since then, and the series has swung dramatically over the decades. Pittsburgh does lead the all-time matchup, but rivalries aren't defined by balance, I would say. They're defined by history, emotion, and identity. This rivalry definitely has all three. It's been called the Turnpike rivalry, the Turnpike War, even a cultural earthquake between two rust-belt cities separated by 135 miles. Generations of fans grew up with this matchup circled on the calendar before the schedules even dropped every single year. That does not just disappear. Cleveland and Pittsburgh aren't just close on the map; they're close in identity. Two blue-collared industrial cities, two fan bases that pride themselves on toughness, two regions that overlap in places like Youngstown, where families literally are split down the middle. This isn't just football; it's about cultural DNA. And when two cities share that much history, and that much pride, that rivalry definitely stays hot, no matter what the standings say. Recent years, have added new chapters. Obviously, the Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph situation with the helmet, which is still referenced literally every single time they play, against each other. The 2020 playoff game, as you mentioned, TJ Watt has said, you can throw the records out the window when these teams meet. And then Myles Garrett said also, there are layers to this matchup. Players don't talk like that unless this rivalry is actually real. And what might be the most important thing, the fans absolutely keep this rivalry alive and well. Browns fans still treat Steelers Week like it's a holiday. Steelers fans still chirp on and run their mouths about Cleveland fans any chance they can get. Usually after they've been kissing their sisters, obviously. And social media explodes every single time these teams meet. A rivalry lives and dies with fans, and this one is very much alive. So yes, the Browns and Steelers rivalry is very, very real.
Okay, I think that's fair. Listen, when Ohio State was beating Michigan, in the early 2000s, I don't think anybody really thought the rivalry went away, right? It felt less competitive, right? But it's still right. There's still that sports hate there. Some people, unfortunately, cross the line into real hate, which is a little ridiculous, but there's still that sports hate there. But I think one of the biggest differences in college football to pro football is like when you're in this situation, if you're Michigan or Ohio State and you come in, 2-9, right? You still want to win that game, right? Whereas we talked about the Browns may not be in a position where they necessarily want to win because of draft status. I think that takes a little bit away from it. I'm a college football guy, right? Like I think that's one of the purest forms of sport and entertainment. Just everything that goes along with college football. I don't care about NIL. It's not the transfer portal doesn't ruin it for me. I still enjoy the product on the field. I still think those guys care. But like I said, that's maybe the main difference, right? Like you come in with a bad record or whatever, you still want to win that rivalry. You want to beat your rival. So maybe the NFL does need to foster some type of rivalry week toward the end of the season, maybe in the middle of the season, end of the season, whatever, just to make some of these games watchable in week 17, 18, whatever, as we come down the stretch. TK, what do you think? I mean, I think Ryan summed it up. But TK, what's your opinion on this?
It definitely is a rivalry, a lower tier rivalry, so to speak, due to the domination of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you have to think this is a rivalry that still has very many historic moments. This is Turkey Jones slamming Terry Bradshaw on his head onto the turf at Three Rivers Stadium.
Yeah.
This is Eric Metcalf.
Hit from now today, by the way, when you watch Terry Bradshaw. Go ahead, sorry.
Right. Like I said, this is Turkey Jones out in Three Rivers Stadium. This is Eric Metcalf in 1993, returning 2 punts in a 28-24 win with a 65% healed knee. This is Dennis Northcutt's drop and Tommy Maddox's subsequent 17-point comeback in the AFC wildcard in 2002. Obviously, this is us beating them 48-37 in the 2020 wildcard. So, there are a lot of memories and moments that have happened in this rivalry that make it stand. So, obviously, it's on the lower tier scale, as I had mentioned earlier, but still very much a rivalry and very much one that is important to us and one that we like to have some sort of say in, as we have shown in the past few years, obviously giving them 5 losses at our stadium within the last 7 matchups, which I think is great. Hoping to make it 6. But this is definitely still very much a rivalry.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Ryan, I thought it was a fair question to ask, but I think both of you guys bring up great points. I think it definitely still is a rivalry. I think there's still that sports hate. Like you said, regionally, they're close. You've got families split down the middle. You fight on Christmas over who gets a Steelers jersey, who gets a Browns jersey. You're fighting over that. I think it's fun. As long as you keep it fun, I think it can be a lot of fun. But I wish there were more moments, right? Other than just the 2 regular season dates that we have every year. I wish there were more playoffs. But I would, a couple of AFC championship matchups would be fun, right? Like Steelers Browns in the AFC championship game would be amazing. Whatever. We likely won't see that with the current, regime that we have here now. So, again, Red X is everywhere. But listen, if you're the Browns, I think you better pack a lunch on the way out the door today because this is going to be a long day for the Browns. What they do offensively, probably, I don't know. I mean, the Steelers' defense is a little banged up. They're going to have to throw the ball today. They can't rely on the run. I don't know who's left at running back. A lot of guys that, we don't necessarily know if we can count on or not. And the Steelers have figured out the running game lately, and the Browns' run defense has taken a little bit of a step backwards. Ryan, do you have any concerns? I mean, we'll get into our keys to victory in a minute. But do you have any concerns about the Browns either being able to run the ball or stop the run versus the Steelers today?
I mean, as I mentioned before, the Browns will only have the only objective today is to get Myles Garrett that sack. Okay. In order for them to get that sack record, they're hoping that the Steelers will be in pass protection a lot. Because you can't sack the quarterback if the hands are, he hands the ball off. That means the Steelers will absolutely do the practical thing, and they're going to do anything in their power to prevent Myles Garrett from getting that record against them. So Jaylen Warren will be utilized a lot today. Against any other opponent, logic tells you that Warren, would be a must start just for the fact that the wide receiver 1, DK Metcalf, like we talked about, is suspended, is going to be out for 2 games, and they really don't have any other weapons. Calvin Austin's hurt. Roman Wilson is just a guy, But like I said, Myles will be chomping at the bit to get that record. The way to prevent that record from happening will be to run the ball. Last week, Jaylen Warren had 14 carries for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Lions. Against the Lions defense, that's pretty good. And, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people – I had them as my Super Bowl pick, So Jaylen Warren, if he gets going, he'll it could be a problem. And that's the only viable option this week for the Steelers, as they look to hold off for Myles to break that record. I think he'll have a good week. So he definitely is a concerning against the Browns' run defense, who has definitely struggled this season, or at least as of late. So
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's going to be a windy day. It's going to warm up as we go on, but it's going to be a rainy, kind of a windy day. They're talking about gusts up to 55. We have a wind advisory right now, gusts up to 55 miles per hour. That's definitely going to play a part. And Myles Garrett, chasing, both the history and, like I said, an elderly man in the pocket for the Steelers. TK, I don't know. I mean, do you have any concerns about this? I mean, the Steelers could run the ball quite a bit today, and they've been effective lately. The Browns have been against the run. Does that concern you both for A, winning the game, and B, Myles Garrett picking up the sack record?
Oh, of course it worries me a lot. But the Browns, if they have any common sense whatsoever, they should know that the Steelers are going to want to run the ball against him because they've been so crap against the run these past 4 games. They could just plug and play just about anybody to run the football on this damn defense, and they will do it. Losing Malik Collins absolutely, positively sucks. Mm-hmm. Shelby Harris looks like a damn fossil out there next to Mason Graham. He can't move like he used to back in Denver. I understand that
Myles Garrett likes dinosaurs and doing the whole. Maybe that distracts them from trying. I don't know. Whatever.
I do understand with Shelby Harris, age is obviously going to be a concern. The kick blocking expertise is still there, but as far as being a viable option to stop the run, he has been absolutely piss poor these past 3 weeks in that department, which has affected Mason Graham some, but we don't want to blame other players for other players' inefficiencies. Yeah. These are guys that know that they need to step up, especially with that offensive line at Pittsburgh. Got to remember, Isaac Seumalo will not be playing today. I do not know who the replacement will be at the left guard position right now, but that line's going to look a little bit different. So you're going to have to challenge those guys. Hopefully these guys do step up with such a key piece being missing from that line. But we're going to see. We're definitely going to see. But they should know that they're going to be targeted to be ran all over just about every week.
Yeah, I think you mentioned losing Malik Collins, and you can't really rely on Myles Garrett at all as far as run defense goes. They just line him up so wide that it's not that he couldn't stop the run. Myles Garrett seems to get stops in the running game if he trips and runs into a running back on the way to the quarterback, right? That's he's not really used much as far as a run defender. So, yeah, I mean, you have your concerns, you have your worries or whatever, but let's just move on. Listen, what do the Browns have to do? I mean, how do they make it 4 in a row against the Steelers? Not 4 in a row overall. Don't do that. That's not overall. But how do they make it 4 in a row against the Steelers? And what do they have to do? Ryan, start with you. Tell me what the Browns have to do to win this football game today.
Yeah, first and foremost, keep Myles Garrett in attack mode. Move him around the formation so that Pittsburgh has a hard time double teaming him in predictable spots. Use stunts to free him, especially with the Steelers' interior line being weaker link. As he said, the left guard is out as well. Although you might, not think that he's limited, but capitalize on Rodgers' limited mobility. He's not escaping the pocket like he used to. Just like when you brought up, the quote, "Oh, you don't want me to help you pick you up? Why? Because you're slower than a 42-year-old? Is that why?" Talking smack out there as he, outruns Jack Campbell, the linebacker for the Lions. Dude, that made me laugh so hard. I don't expect them to outrun Myles Garrett in the same way, though. Secondly, protect the edges against Pittsburgh's run game. Set a strong edge against Jaylen Warren, who is great at cutbacks. Force everything back inside your defensive tackles and linebackers. And you can't let Kenneth Gainwell catch the ball and get loose on the perimeter. He's taken a lot of those a long way this season. The Steelers' run game is built on patience, cuts, vision, not necessarily brute force. So forcing them to run the ball on the inside and playing with discipline will beat them. And then lastly, win the time of possession battle. Sustain drives with the short passing game. That will build up confidence to Shiro Sanders and should open things up down the field. Lean on Raheem Sanders and Dylan Sampson and company to stay ahead of the sticks. I actually love Raheem Sanders. If you have time, you can check out his 2022 Arkansas tape. Dude dominated in the SEC in 2022, so go check him out. And then keep Aaron Rodgers on the sidelines. If the Browns can do these things, they will get ahead. And if the Steelers fall behind because the Browns control the tempo, the Steelers' run-heavy script collapses, and Myles Garrett should strike fear in Aaron Rodgers' eyes. So,
yeah, the Browns have been susceptible to the cutbacks, by the way, and just really, I mean, guys getting to the edge. That's been a huge key for the Browns. Have been really susceptible to both of those things. TK, tell me what the Browns have to do to win this game today.
First and foremost, I want to take in big consideration of the injury to Quinshawn Judkins, and I want to drill into their heads as much as possible. Run the football anyway. I love this kid, Raheem Sanders. It was a travesty that this man was on IR for the majority of this season. After week 1, we did not see him again until the Buffalo game. That was a travesty. That kid is explosive. He is strong. He is smart. He has solid vision. That clearly could have been either our number 2 or number 3 back this year. Not to mention, we talked about Travion Williams earlier, his production last week against the Buffalo Bills. Dylan Sampson is coming into this game questionable, but if he does play, I expect him to be a huge part of the run game as well. Whether you pitch him outside or you have him catch the ball out of the backfield to make things happen that way, use those running backs.
Yeah.
Secondly, got to keep this defense enthused. Got to keep this defense into it. I do think that, especially with the Steelers being in such dire straits, you could be looking at a vintage Aaron Rodgers performance now. You remember all those years that he didn't have the big-time wide receiver, or he's feeding all of his running backs and all of his tight ends, and he was helping Devontae Adams get his name up. Jordy Nelson was there as well. But these guys weren't really putting up, world-beating seasons. They were good players, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers showed you, hey, I don't need no number 1 receiver. I don't need no number 2 receiver. I'm like that, and then some. You think the 42-year-old might channel a little bit of that today, or might at least try to. So you got to get to him. And third, and most importantly, Shador, you got to show up, right? Shador, you got to do this thing, man. You have got to do this thing. If you really want to be a starter, which I'm sure you do, you've said all the right things, you've done all the right things, you're working hard in practice, giving the respect to the coaching staff, your teammates, and all that good stuff. You win today. You play well today. You are making a beautiful case for yourself in the 2026 season. Got to make it happen today, 12.
Agreed. Listen, I think the Steelers could frustrate the Browns a little bit, using the short passing game as kind of like a secondary run game a little bit. But they've been good in the run. So if they start to get that going and they get into this ball control mode, like you said, you got to keep the defense motivated. You got to keep them, whatever. It could be really frustrating for the Browns today. I think, I worry about that a little bit coming into the game. And so, TK, let me start back with you now. Tell me what the Steelers have to do to win this game today, to avoid 4 in a row in Cleveland.
Well, the big thing for the Steelers is we mentioned all the starters that they have on. Got to make the best out of the reserves that are going to make appearances in this game. Reserves are going to play a key part in the WR1 today for the Steelers is going to be Scott Miller. WR2 is either going to be Adam Thielen or Ben Skoranek. I'm not really sure. Just love AT. I love AT to death, especially his 3 years. I think this is going to be his time to say, all right, look, yeah, I'm 35. Yeah, I took a step back here or there or wherever. But, I got to make some plays in order for this team to be able to get to the next level and to qualify for the tournament. Secondly, again, you need to attack this Browns rush defense. We just talked about how bad this defensive line has gotten within the last few weeks with the loss of Malik Collins. So you're going to have to run that football. Regardless of who's playing that left guard today, you're going to have to run that football with both Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. You might even see a Caleb Johnson sighting. He's been few and far away this season. I'll tell you that. But third and definitely foremost, get 95's giant ass up out of here. He don't need to be touching our quarterback or running back. He don't need to be touching nothing but grass. We need to find out the picture perfect plan, even though there really ain't one. Find the perfect plan to keep 95 out of that backfield. They were discussing taking all types of unnecessary penalties, here and there just to stop 95 from getting the sack record. And hey, I do understand that you don't want your rival, especially little bro, trying to show his stuff in front of you. Oh, look, I got the record against you, dorks. No, you didn't. You didn't get anything against us. So, it's just those things in particular. They're definitely going to be looking to shut 95 down. Hopefully that frees up other people. Hopefully we'll see a hallmark game from Alex Wright. Not to mention he just signed a 3-year, $33 million extension not too long ago.
Yeah. Kind of quietly, by the way. It seems like we don't talk about Browns financials or contracts a lot. It just doesn't make the news because they're so bad. Ryan, you're Mike Tomlin and crew. Tell me what you got to do to win this game against the Browns today.
Yeah. First of all, run the offense through Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. Jaylen Warren is the clear engine of the Steelers' offense. He's no longer a complementary piece anymore. Kenneth Gainwell is a change-up back. We keep the Browns linebackers guessing, with perimeter touches and catches out of the backfield. With DK Metcalf out and, they don't have a wide receiver on the team that strikes fear into anyone's eyes, especially the Cleveland defenders' eyes. Their plan is going to be to run the ball and do it a lot. Yeah. Secondly, protect Aaron Rodgers at all costs. They're going to run the ball a disgusting amount of time, so that'll help protect them, but they also can help out by using RPOs and slants to get the ball out quickly. Fast play action will also affect the Browns linebackers. Aaron Rodgers isn't as mobile like he used to be, but he can still throw on the move, so the Steelers will be smart to use moving pockets away from Myles Garrett as well. The fact of the matter is, if Aaron Rodgers is in third and long all day, Pittsburgh loses and Myles Garrett gets 8 sacks today. They have to protect him at all costs. And then finally, they need to double team Myles Garrett on every single down. Double team, triple team. They need more than 2 hands on this guy. I don't care if they need to implement chip help from the tight ends or running backs, slide protection away from Myles, or just constantly run away from his alignment. I mean, keeping him away from Aaron Rodgers is a huge factor today. The Steelers' offensive line cannot block him one-on-one. This isn't slander; it's literally reality. Pittsburgh tackles have struggled in the true pass sets this season and given up pressures and bunches. If they're not built to handle Myles Garrett's combination of speed, power, and bend. If the Steelers leave a tackle alone on Garrett on 3rd and 8, that's malpractice, and Myles Garrett will be celebrating a new record this season. So.
Yeah, that's the dangerous way to let Kevin Stefanski keep a job. We don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Give me your store prediction. Wow. Give me your first quarter financials for Walmart. No, don't do that. Let's Brian. I'm gonna start with you. Give me your score prediction for today's game, man. Who wins and what is the final score?
Yeah, I actually think the Browns are going to win this game, although I don't want them to. For me, the best case scenario for today, like I said, Myles Garrett gets a sack record. Shedeur Sanders continues the improvement and hopes that he's the future franchise quarterback, and the Browns lose and ensure that they get a better draft pick, and Kevin Stefanski continues to look bad. I'm not being a hater, but that's what we need. But the cards are actually stacked in favor of the Browns today. There's no DK Metcalf. Week 6 versus the Browns, DK had 4 catches on 95 yards and 1 touchdown. Myles Garrett will be an animal and only needs to make one single play today, just one. Cleveland's offense won't dominate, but should do just enough. And most importantly, the Browns fans will be the biggest factor today. I think Cleveland wins 17-13.
Okay, all right. TK, give me your score prediction, man.
Definitely gonna repeat the sentiments of Mr. Mosser. Going with Cleveland in this one, 23-17. I think Shedeur hits 200+ yards today. We're gonna have a solid game from Mr. Raheem Sanders as well.
Okay, I want to agree with both of you. I do. I like you both very much. I enjoy doing this show. Please don't be mad at me. The wind advisory worries me. I think the Steelers' little short passing game suits them well on a day like this. I think Shedeur Sanders' big thing has been pushing the ball down the field. I think with Jalen Ramsey possibly out, he's listed as questionable still up to this moment, which it's 1:05 now the game started. But I worry about the Browns being able to push the ball down the field. I worry about the running game. Maybe they'll be okay. Maybe they won't. I worry about them stopping the run. That's a big concern. I think the Steelers are going to win today 23-14, unfortunately. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers take this one. I hate to do it, but that's where I am. Well, yeah, for draft purposes, right? That's where I am. Listen, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, make us one of your top 5 friends on MySpace. We don't care that the page takes 45 minutes to load with all the music. It doesn't matter. Dial up, it's fine. We'll go back to the early 2000s. Everything's fine. Listen, guys, thanks for watching. We again go enjoy some football, and then other than the Browns, because that's not really football. Just watch the Browns and then enjoy football. Watch the Commissioner's Couch, watch Illegal Formation, watch the other shows on the Inside Edge Network. There is a vast amount of knowledge and talent here. Please stick with us and I don't know, enjoy the game today. And we'll see you next week on the final regular season. We're going to do some stuff for the postseason. But, guys, it's our final regular season Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show. That's crazy, right, for the Inside Edge Network. I can't believe how fast the season's gone. But, again, guys, thank you so much. For Ryan Moster, for TK Dandridge, I'm Chad Bryan. We want to thank you guys for being with us. Almost 200 people here, despite how bad the Browns have been. I can't wait until next year when Denzel Ward says they're going to go to the playoffs. And maybe we'll get some more people. We'll have some more interaction. We'll have some fun. Whatever. All right, guys, have a great Sunday. Hope you had a great Christmas. Happy New Year. And we will see you on next week's show. It'll be 2026. That's wild. All right, guys. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.